What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to episode 76 of All Hail the King. In this episode, we're going to take a look at Misty Knight, and we're also going to do something different at the beginning. I'll show you her entire ISO 8 build, including EISO and AISO, at least for this video. I know this is something many of you ask about from time to time, so I'm happy to bring you it, at least for this episode. As always, check out the corresponding podcast link in the description below. Now, like I said, beginning with our Misty Knight's build, we first of all have a very easy ISO 8 setup. I'm using one reactive forceful, and the rest is stalwart. So there you have it, 1 forceful, attack, defense, and accuracy, and 7 stalwart, health, attack, and defense. Next up, with our EISO, I wanted to try something out, and that's to use the explosive EISO. Let's see if we get some procs off a debuff action like Killer Diller. Next, we're using the hair triggered and powered ISO 8. Single target gun attacks gain a follow-up. This is a pretty incredible EISO, and you can currently get it in the Spec Op. That's the only place right now. For her AISO, we're trying the Bloody on her level 1. Then on her level 2, we're using the Pyrophoric. This says equipped gun or explosion action applies Pyrophoric. Following that, for her level 6, I actually had a pretty good idea to try out the Obsolescent AISO. This causes the equipped tech attack to apply obsolete tech. Basically, we're adding that debuff to Killer Diller, which is a quick action. So that's a pretty awesome quick action. It should really come in handy against enemy agents. And finally, we're just trying out the Powerful on her level 9. So that should do increased damage. Nothing too fancy there, at least for now. Now moving on to our first match, we're going to be using Misty Knight and Rocket Raccoon. Our agent setup is going to be 3 pieces of the Maggia set, plus the Cosmic Cardinal and the Cube. I figured a Generalist Rocket is going to give us morale boost, so we went ahead and replaced the Made Man for now. By the way, you may be able to tell throughout the video, but I'm very sick. And I know it seems like I'm sick all the time, but this time is no joke. Either way though, I owed you all an All Hail the King episode, and there's also a ton of updates coming out, so I really did want to talk about those as well. First of all, Howard the Duck is going to be their holiday lockbox giveaway hero. The event's going to run 3 weeks. All daily mission quests will give a 5 lockbox reward, and each weekly quest will reward 20 lockboxes. There will be 3 of them in total. We'll definitely preview Howard as soon as we can, but for now, let me just say he looks incredible. He's actually going to be a very tough character by the looks of his abilities. After that, there's going to be the unbeatable Squirrel Girl Howard the Duck cosplay uniform. And it says Squirrel Girl's new uniform will play nicely with Howard the Duck. Playing both Howard and Squirrel Girl will allow the agent to join in on the fun, and that uniform will go up for a general sale. What this is going to give her is the passive Hard Nut to Quack. Protects allies from single target attacks, and the amount of damage taken when attacked is greatly reduced. Besides that passive, you also get Ducks in a Row. All allies have a chance to follow up after each other's single target attacks, if Howard the Duck is present. Howard also gains his passive when Squirrel Girl is present, and the agent gets Honorary Duck, so that means he also gains the passive. It sounds pretty awesome, I have to admit. Next, the Spec Op 32 hero is going to be Red She-Hulk. So that's going to be incredible. Plus, there will be a new lockbox hero soon. I'm assuming with Spec Op 32. And that's going to be Winter Soldier. He'll be an infiltrator and she will be a generalist. So yeah, there's going to be a new group boss. Chapter 10 is going to be coming out, with the worthy Damon Hellstrom as Angerer Breaker of Souls. Heroic battles will include Hercules vs. Constrictor, Chase Stein and Victor Mancha vs. Thor, Captain Britain and Kitty Pryde vs. Arcade, Blade and Morbius vs. Dracula and Vampires, Mr. Fantastic and Magneto vs. Ronan, and Black Bolt Medusa versus Maximus the Mad and bots. Finally, the PvP 27 hero is going to be Hellcat, Patsy Walker. So yeah, check out the announcement, I'll also link that below, and it has me extremely excited. There's plenty of content coming to Marvel Avengers Alliance, and I will definitely cover it all. As for Misty Knight and the Hair Trigger EISO, you're seeing why it kind of does work out well with Rocket, especially since she can work with Pyrophoric as well. But that EISO in general is just awesome, and I really hope I win more than one. Another really awesome weapon is going to be the Cosmic Cardinal, and of course it does trigger quite often after Misty Knight attacks. It's also going to cause Rocket to attack again and trigger Pyrophoric. Now as far as those new releases, just to go back to that for a second, I think it's going to be fantastic. Howard the Duck should be coming very soon. And with all of that content, I only hope they don't release it all at once. That would be really rough to cover, especially while sick. Okay, and bad news in the fight, Victor Mancha does reboot. Usually we have the Relentless Rapier which would shut that down, but of course we took it off for this fight. At least with all the dots and another blam, the enemy agent should be taken out shortly after this Pyrophoric, and our Rocket reloads. So there he goes. Now with Misty Knight we can use our free action shield, then Killer Diller as a quick action. This has off balance, generalized, winded, and downgrade, thanks to the obsolescent AISO. That really is a lot coming from a quick action. Next we'll use our level 2, and we'll get to follow it up because of that Hair Trigger EISO. We didn't get a ton of damage, but we know Rocket's going to join in. That'll also cause Pyrophoric. Then we get a Cosmic Cardinal proc, and Rocket joins in once again. Next up, with my agent, we're going to use the targeting device. This should really set Victor up for a big hit. So let's use the Atom Smasher. The Captain's Fist was on my mind, but this should be pretty awesome. So here goes nothing. It almost knocks him out, and then he quickly goes down on his next turn. So for our second and final match of this video, we're using Black Widow. They both have Marked for Revenge, and Misty Knight's level 9 really relies on this debuff. We're finally facing a different team. It's Iron Man and Iron Patriot, so it's nice to see something new on defense. Or maybe not new, but not seen for quite a while. With Misty, however, we'll start with her shield, then use Killer Diller. You know what, we're going to use it on their agent. Hopefully it'll shut her down and be worth using. But we end up getting interrupted by Iron Man. That was pretty unfortunate. We'll try to make him pay by using Sugar and Spice, and we get a follow-up Armed and Dangerous. Next, their agent's going to attack with a Hexenjäger. That's pretty okay with us. Now the big threat is going to be Iron Patriot, who could decimate our team. And it seems like they have a pretty good attack. So what we're actually going to do is use the targeting device on him, then attack with the Captain's Fist. And by the way, since we are on the team with Black Widow, it should be a stealthy attack. That's typically how that should work out. So anyways, let's go ahead and use that on Iron Patriot, and it does a pretty big hit. Plus we get an even bigger follow-up, and our flanked brawl. So there's that triple attack I was talking about. Hopefully you watched my Magia set review video, and you noticed me mention it there. Then after Black Widow uses a flying kick, that's going to go ahead and stun Iron Man, plus do a ton of damage. So Misty Knight's going to try Killer Diller once again. This time it does land, and she'll follow it up with a Sugar and Spice. Okay, after this, the enemy agent is going to do quite a few things, starting with microanalysis. So they have the Small Hadron Collider. Then they trigger our preemptive counter from Black Widow, and following an attack on her, She uses Mark for Revenge and counters. So yeah, she's pretty awesome with the Covert ISO. To be honest, all of that was great, but I'm really happy we got Mark for Revenge. We can finally use Misty Knight's level 9. First though, let's drop Iron Man. It's good to get him out of the picture. Next, as you can see, she has Mark for Revenge. And then Misty Knight's level 9 Shut Yo Mouth says Deadly Crits and Vindictive Exploitation. Gains Paragon Exploiter, Exploit Attrition, Exploit Opportunity, and Exploit Exploitation against targets with Mark for Revenge. It's also guaranteed to hit crit and gains True Strike against targets with Mark for Revenge. So with all that being said, let's let this enemy agent have it. Here comes a Shut Yo Mouth. That's going to give us a 26k critical hit and a pretty nice finish to our episode. With that, I do want to thank you all for watching. Ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.